What's up, guys? It's Alex coming at you with another bourbon video. This time I wanted to highlight Old RIp Van Winkle and Lot B, two pretty sought-after bottles, especially when it comes to allocation season, and these usually come out in the fall when a lot of the other good stuff comes out. So normally you see everyone scrambling, hunting down trucks and calling in favors and going into all these stores looking for these, because these bottles are approaching that legendary status where you start seeing them in movies and TV shows and everyone kind of hears about it. And I remember my first time just getting into this hobby. I just walk into a store and I'm one of those guys like, hey, you got any Pappy? And they just totally laugh at me. So it's just one of those rites of passage kind of things. So, but I got these two bottles here, so let's compare them. Just a 2-year age difference, but there is a little bit of a proof difference as well. So let's see how this shakes up. All right, so Old RIp Van Winkle coming in at 107 proof, 53.5 proof, 10 years old. Yeah, right off the bat, I get a lot of really nice bright flavors here. Definitely get that Buffalo Trace vibe, like a very light grape, not like E.H. Taylor. This is definitely a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter. I'm getting strawberries here, so this reminds me like strawberries and floral notes. So this reminds me a lot of Weller 107. This is like a similar proof. This is the same proof as that. So I'm getting just like a very more well-aged, refined 107 pretty much. I'm getting like a little bit of like mint leaves, which is kind of odd because normally these products are on the low rye side, but it just smells like very fresh. Next, we have ourselves Lot B, 12 years old and 90.4 proof. So the nose is definitely a bit more muted. I'm definitely getting more of the oak influence, so that extra 2 years really did make a difference. This reminds me a lot of like Weller 12, which is pretty to be expected. 12 years old, Weller 12, 90 proof, 90, so it's very similar. This is just like a very good Weller 12. So the Old RIp Van Winkle is definitely sweeter, more cavity inducing, whereas the Lot B is a little bit more refined. It's a little bit lighter on the nose, and I have to hunt for the flavor a little more, but I think I'm enjoying the experience nosing the Lot B as of right now. Let's try Old RIp Van Winkle. This is one of those bourbons that you can really chew on, like it's really meaty. It just drinks wet. So this bourbon is thick.
Girl, you're thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
It's viscous. It coats the palate. It just glazes the palate all the way down. And even after the pour goes down and it's already on the finish and you know everything's already gone down, I still feel it like on my palate, in my mouth, and going down my esophagus. Like it's still there. That's how viscous it is, and the flavor obviously lingers. Oh yeah, this is like, I'm not like, normally I take smaller than normal sips, I think, of all of my bourbons. I don't really need a lot to get like the flavors and to really appreciate it, but this is just one where I want to take a nice solid sip of it. Like I want to take a nice gulp. Like I probably have 2 times more. I probably take 2 times more liquid going down than I do normal, pretty much any other pour, even lower proof stuff. It's just like I want to really experience it all and just bite down on it, and like it feels good. It's like savory, like a nice charred steak where you just want to get at it. So as for flavors, I'm getting the strawberry transfers through. I'm getting sweet oak now on the palate that I didn't get on the nose. I'm getting I guess a little bit of the floral notes that I would from like a Weller 107. I do get some of the ethanol near the end. It's not, I mean, I don't want to say it's like unbalanced, but I definitely taste it. It's 107 proof, and I think it drinks like that, maybe a little higher, like 112, 115 almost. But I still think it drinks really good. The flavor is just so there. It like hits you right in the face, and it's great. This bottle is awesome. All right, so let's move on to Lot B. Wow. Oh wow, that's that's different. Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind is I'm not really getting that like savory, meaty, like viscous, wet, like thick liquid that I was getting from the other one. So I was almost like preparing to like take a bite, and I kind of came up like empty. So it's definitely delicate, and I'm gonna have to go in for another pour because I kind of missed a lot of it. This drink's a lot more refined. It's definitely a lot more balanced. I'm not getting as much ethanol, but I'm not getting as much flavor either. So it's like everything's like toned down in intensity, but in regards to the balance, I think it's turned up. Like it's very well rounded. I no astringency. I'm not getting any ethanol, or very, very little ethanol, and the flavors are more muted, but they are more complex, and I am tasting the oak a little bit more, and it does drink more like a more mature bourbon. I could totally see myself craving both of these in different situations. I think there's a lot more flavor, like a lot more complexity on the palate for this one. And I still think the finish is medium to long. I think it does a really good job, even though it's like less proof. It does do a good job keeping up with the finish. So I'm pretty pleasantly surprised with these two bottles. I think they both offer something very different, very unique, and both are great additions to my bar personally. So what surprised me most though is how Old RIp Van Winkle is able to give me that tasting experience that's really unlike any other bottle that I have on my shelf. So it kind of stays in my mind where like, wow, like that was a really meaty bottle. There aren't that many bottles that offer that. It's kind of rare, but those few bottles that do offer that are some of the best that I have in my collection. So if a bottle reminds me of that meatiness, that savory, that bite like of a steak, like I like steak, so I would definitely recommend that bottle. Lot B it drinks definitely more traditional than it drinks a lot more in line with a lot of the other bottles that I have, which isn't a bad thing because I'm pretty happy with the collection that I have, so it's right up my flavor profile, but it's not as memorable. So I think if like you're torn between both of these and say like they're both offered to you at retail and you really want to drink one of them, I think for the experience wise and the flavors, I think Old RIp Van Winkle is actually the way to go personally. So tonight's winner is a little bit of an upset. It's a little bit younger and it's a little bit cheaper on secondary and retail, I believe. So I gotta give it to Old RIp Van Winkle. This bottle, it really packs a punch, and I think it's definitely worth experiencing that savoriness that Old RIp offers. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, leave a comment, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, whatever you like, and I'll see you guys next time. Salud!